Take a moment right now to imagine your boss's boss. Would you be proud and satisfied with that quality of lifestyle? That's a question I've been asking myself here at my company, President's Club Trip, surrounded by top performers at all levels throughout the organization, located in exotic Punta Mita, Mexico. Another realization I've had is that business is a reflection of your personal life. And it's abundantly clear to me that there's three areas of my own life that I need to disproportionately prioritize if I want to improve my capacity to do well in business. And I believe that this is universal to all people in their 20s and 30s as well, no matter what you do, no matter what your name is, no matter where you're located at. Health, wealth, relationships. In today's video, I'm going to share an honest assessment of how I feel like I'm doing in each of these three areas and the steps I'm taking to improve. If you watch until the end of the video, I'm also going to share with you a really impactful exercise that I have been using to evaluate my strengths, weaknesses, my commitments, my liabilities, my assets, so that I can be very clear where am I at today and where do I want to go. And that's how I define success. Basically, how do you get to that next level and what does that next level actually look like and what does it take to get there? And I'm going to talk about that and unpack that in today's video. Health. Here in Mexico, it's a drought season right now, meaning all of these beautiful plants are not as lush and green as they can be because they physically do not have the nutrients in form of water and hydration to look their best and to grow. Imagine a skyscraper in New York, 100 floors. It doesn't just get there by accident. Your body is a choice. Like these plants, they need water to survive and grow. Your body also needs water to survive and grow. You know exactly what you should be putting into your body to get it to look and feel like you want it to do. And when I think about health, there's really two components to this. Number one is aesthetics. How does your body look? How do you feel about yourself, your body image? And then how do you feel that others perceive you based on your looks? And then secondly, from an actual energy and capacity and performance standpoint. And this is a byproduct of how you look, because if you feel better about yourself, if you're putting in the right nutrients, you're going to be at your full capacity to actually perform at a higher level than others because you'll have more energy and more mental clarity and focus. So when I think about my body today, I think I'm somewhere in between an athlete and a dad bod. I don't necessarily have six-pack abs. I don't have the big muscles. I don't really lift weights. I run consistently so that I can stay slim. And I'm very mindful what I put into my body. I like to think of myself as a corporate athlete. I know that I need water, so I drink as much water as I possibly can. I know that I need a lot of sleep. I know that I need to eat food with nutrients, not just fried chicken fingers with cane sauce all day. So think of yourself as a corporate athlete, and there's really no excuse to be fat, overweight, or not feel good about yourself internally because it's all a choice, it's all a decision. Next, as we think about wealth. Wealth to me is really important because economics binds us all together. They all say that money won't buy happiness, but I would much rather be rich than I would just live an ordinary average lifestyle. And I really don't think that you can be successful without money. A lot of you may be thinking, well, I can just go have a family, I'll have a kid, I'll live a nice middle class lifestyle. Personally, to me, that doesn't sound appealing. I wouldn't be happy if I don't have a ton of money. Being here in paradise, it's very hard for me to disconnect because I want to always get better, I want to perform better. And it's almost an illusion and a trap in a way because even if I pull out my computer, even if I perform marginally better, best case, I'm just going to be at my boss's level in the next couple years. And I don't know if that's necessarily what I want. I think I want more. So when I think about wealth, one of the principles is being all in. And I was watching a Formula One race recently, and you see these guys in Miami, they all look good, they all have money, they all have the sponsors. When they are driving their cars, and they're about to get into a car crash, for example, and they're driving, they're trained to never look at the wall. Because if they look at the wall, naturally the steering wheel is going to go that way. So if there's a collision ahead, they cannot look at the wall. They have to look dead ahead, and they're always looking in front. And that's why the front mirror, that's why the front panel of the glass in the car is much bigger than the rear view mirror, because you always need to be looking forward. So when I think about wealth, I'm always looking forward. And I think that it's an infinite pursuit, and there's really no number you can have because there's always going to be somebody at another level of wealth. So I look at it in the context of needing to have an exit number. Basically, how much money would you need to be able to sustain your ideal quality of life for a 25-year time horizon? So let's say you need $100,000 a year to live, and we're talking 25 years, so $100,000 times 25 equals 2.5 million. That would be your exit number. And in my head, I have set an arbitrary exit number of $30 million because that is the minimum threshold to be considered an ultra high net worth individual. I'm sure that that will change in the next couple of decades due to inflation. But to me, that's the number I need to say, you know what? I'm satisfied, I've done what I need to do, and I can go on vacations like this and just completely enjoy myself. So when you reverse engineer that and apply that to a 26-year-old guy, that mentality is how I justify moving to a $2,700 a month apartment. I'm watching a video with Logan Paul in it. He is 27 and he spends $57,000 a month on his rent. So think about that. That's like 30x what I'm spending. And some people are like, Trent, you spend a lot of money on your rent. And I'm like, well, I'm basically poor and paying no money. Money is just numbers on a screen. And if you're always in the conserve mode, if you're in the scarce mode of, I don't have enough money to do that, I can't do that, you're never going to be able to attract more money into your life because the money is not yours to begin with. Money is like water. It's always flowing. I'm looking at the ocean. There's water in the ocean. It perspirates into the clouds. It rains down into rivers. It flows into dams. Eventually you drink it into your body. You pee it out in the toilet. It's always flowing. Money is always flowing. Money is never actually yours because you have money in your bank account. The bank lends it out to other people. You use your money to go to Chipotle. Chipotle uses that money to pay the suppliers. The suppliers pay the producers. And the money is always flowing. So money is never actually yours. So you cannot be overly emotional when it comes to money. And you need to be able to spend money to actually make money. And that's why I justify spending money and being a bit irrational at times, because if I make as much money as I think I'm going to make, then all of the money I spend at this point is really inconsequential and it doesn't actually matter. Finally, relationships. And this is probably the most important pillar we're going to talk about in the video. So if you're enjoying so far, make sure to hit the like button now because it really helps the channel. When I think about relationships, this is an area of my life that I am actively working on improving. As many of you who have been following me know, I lived in Plano, Texas the last 6 months, basically had no social life and just kept my head down and absolutely grinded to try and become more successful. I reached a point where I said, you know what, I'm doing what I want to do at work, but I need to have more fun. So I purposely moved myself downtown to the nicest area I possibly find because I want to surround myself with other like-minded people who are trying to do big things. And when you look at your life right now, take the 5 people you spend the most time with and you're going to be a sum of them. Here in Mexico, I had the opportunity to go on a snorkeling excursion. We traveled many, many miles off the coastline. We ended up at this beautiful island with so many birds and we snorkeled. And I basically swam out. I'm right next to the coastline in this exotic location. I look down into the water. I see these beautiful coral reefs, blue water, a lot of fish. And you can actually see the tide flowing on the ground of the seafloor. And I see these big schools of fish, of dozens of fish. They all look the same, and they're just going swaying back and forth, back and forth. They're all moving together. And that's how I view many people. They're just going through life following other people. And one of the reasons why I originally moved out of downtown is because I felt like I was in this flow of just doing what I needed to do in order to satisfy other people's expectations of me. And if your relationships are in a position where you're doing things just to keep up with the circle, then it may cause unhappiness. And that's the point I reached in my own life. So I said, I need to take myself out of this. I need to do my own thing, whether that's right or wrong for what the public thinks or what's right for society. And the example here is when I was snorkeling, what I remember distinctly, my friend next to me, we started pointing, we're like, because you can't talk underwater. And there was this stunning blue fish, vibrant blue, by itself, going back and forth, not next to the school of fish. That fish, that blue one, was swimming in their own lane. And that's how I view my life from a social circumstance standpoint, is I'm swimming in my own lane. That means I'm not gonna have a ton of friends, but I wanna have the right friends. I wanna have the other bright blue fish in my life that are gonna push me to be better, push me to think bigger. And then the final component of relationships is your actual relationship, significant other. And that's the biggest area of life that I think that I'm missing. Not that it's needed right now, but when I'm here on this President's Club, everyone brings their +1. I brought my mother as my +1. A lot of these other people have a significant other. They're married, they're dating, whatever it may be. And I feel like that's a necessary part of life in order to optimize for happiness and also just the overall human experience. You want to be with someone, you want to reproduce, you want to have kids, and you want to be a part of the community. And that's really important. And that's why I'm moving downtown to hopefully meet girls, go out more. And maybe this channel will evolve into kind of the red pill game stuff, because it in a way has a lot of similarities with sales, rejection, putting yourself out there, making the ask, being valuable on the marketplace. So these are all things I'm thinking about trying to improve upon. And finally, an exercise that I'm doing to actually improve is basically taking an inventory of my life. I'm looking at strengths, weaknesses, commitments, liabilities, assets. And I'm asking myself, how can I use my strengths in alternative ways? For example, strength. I'm able to look at businesses. I understand B2B. I understand how to quickly and succinctly convey a value prop. Therefore, I'm good at cold calling. So how can I use that skill to maybe make YouTube videos? Because there's a lot of synergy between what I do in my sales job and making videos. Getting better at both helps each. And then as a byproduct, I'm able to help other people as well. So that's just one example. And then next is, what are my steps to achieve my goals? And really, no goal can be recognized without steps to create it. If you're building a building, you can't just look at the building and say, let's put the building. You need to have clear steps of how do we build the foundation. So I'm starting with my assets and saying, what are my assets? Okay, so I have XYZ money in the stock market, XYZ money in my online real estate crowdfunding and crypto. I'm really good at cold calling, talking, communicating. How can I use that to say, this is where I'm at today and this is where I want to go in the future, my exit number? And then what steps, what is my clear plan to go from where I'm at today to where I want to go in the future? And that's how I'm thinking about optimizing my life, because business is a reflection of your personal life. The healthier you are, the better relationships you are, the more cognizant you are about your wealth, money, what you're doing, it's going to allow you to do better at business and then ultimately have a better personal life as a result. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And also click on the first link in the description below. I have a sales podcast talking about how to get to the next level. Talks about sales, but it talks about a lot of the aspects we talked about in today's video in long form. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. Happy cold calling. Talk to you in the next video. Bye.